family and friends and fellow YouTubers, it's Kim here from Hancock Homesteading Gardens. And actually I changed the name to Hancock Family Homesteading Gardens because I just want people to understand that we're just a simple family living the homesteading lifestyle. So it's now Hancock Family Homesteading Gardens because this is a generation homestead. John and I will be the 4th generation, and then our children would be the 5th, and then our grandchildren, Jeffrey and Emma, are now the 6th. So we have 6 generations enjoying this homestead. And today, as you can probably tell, I'm going to be making something with tomatoes. I'm getting ready to do seasoned tomato sauce. The kind that you might use on pastas, okay? And the recipe that I have and the recipe I'm using is coming out of the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving. And I will be doing the water bath canning for this. I do have a pressure canner, guys, but I just find it so much easier to do water bath canning if I'm able. Now there are some things you cannot water bath can, but you can water bath can seasoned tomato sauce, okay? As long as you add lemon juice. So what I'm going to be making today is the seasoned tomato sauce. This recipe will make 6-pint jars, and here's what the recipe calls for. 10 pounds of tomatoes cored, 2½ cups of finely chopped onions, 3 clove garlics finely chopped, 1½ teaspoon of dried oregano, 2 bay leaves, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon of granulated sugar, and then the lemon juice to the pint jars, okay? Alright, so, okay friends, since I am choosing to blanch my tomatoes first, I have my blanching pot over here and it is at a rapid boil. Okay, so my first step in preparing the tomato sauce is blanching my tomatoes so that I can get rid of the skins and the cores. And so I simply do that by filling up my blanching pot about halfway, okay? And then after I have it that full, then I transfer it to the stove into that tub of hot boiling water. Okay, blanching is a cooking process in which you submerge fruits and vegetables into hot boiling water to help release their skins and to help encase the vitamins and the enzymes. And then after they boil in the hot boiling water for 30 seconds to a minute, then you transfer them to the ice water. So being very careful, I'm going to immerse this into this boiling water. Okay, let me bring you in so you can see. Alright, and then I'm just going to kind of gently turn them and watch them. I'll watch them until the skin starts to crack, and that will tell me that they are ready to come out. Alright? Sometimes people put a slit in the bottom of each one before they do this, and I can do that. I'm just in such a hurry today. It seems like I've been doing tomatoes for a whole month now. I'm in such a big hurry today that I just want to get this done quickly, so I am not doing the pre-slit. Okay? Okay, by immersing them into the ice water, it stops the cooking process, okay, and cools them down so that you can later peel them. Alright, after it sits in there for about 30 seconds to a minute, I then remove them. And since I'm doing a lot of tomatoes today, I'm putting them over here in this big saucepan so that I can go on to my next batch. Alright? Okay friends, so I'm going to finish blanching all of these tomatoes and then I will take you with me on to the next step. So I'll be back in a little bit, okay? Okay guys, I'm down to blanching my last batch. Okay, I blanched what, let's see, 6 pots of tomatoes. Probably took me maybe a half hour, which I think is going to be the same amount of time it would have taken if I had tried to send them to a food mill with the peelings and everything. So anyway, yeah, this is just my way of doing it. Okay, and since I had to use my cold water pan, this last batch I'm just spraying cold water over. And so they'll be fine. I'm going to be cooking them anyway. So it's not like I have to stop the cooking process. Anyway. Okay friends, so now I'm down to the part where I just have to core the tomatoes and take off the skins. And since they have been blanched, that core just comes right out of there. Very easy. The peelings just slide right off. You can almost get them off in one peeling. And they're just coming right off of there. And then once you have the peeling off, then I'm just quartering them over here into this saucepan. And for me, this is just the easier way of doing it, because then I don't have to mess with the peelings later on. The peelings are already gone. Alright? So I thought I would share with you that the tomatoes I'm using for my sauce will be Romas and Better Boys, because that's what I grew. There might be 1 or 2 celebrities in here, but they are mostly Better Boys and Romas. So this great big one here that you're seeing, that is a Better Boy. And just going to chop it up into this extra pan, because I've already got my other pan over there starting to simmer and then boil. So that was a Better Boy. This here is a Roma. Romas actually make your better sauces because they have more meat. But we were down to our last of the Romas and I just needed a few more tomatoes, so I just threw some Better Boys in there with them. And sometimes having different tomatoes will give you more flavor. You know, if you accidentally leave a tomato skin on, it's really not going to hurt you. You can eat skins, you can eat the seeds. So you just, want to try to clean them up the best you can. And that's one reason I like to go ahead and blanch my tomatoes ahead of time, because to me you get a cleaner tomato. Okay. But remember guys, everything I tell you in my videos are of my opinion, and this is what works best for me, okay? There are lots of good techniques out there, and everyone kind of has their own method of doing things. And I'm using the ball recipe. And so, it's very important that you stick to the recipe when you get ready to actually do it, because you want your acid levels to be correct and everything. But as far as how you get to that process, get to that recipe, I don't think they're really going to care that I blanch first. I will want to make sure that my tomatoes are hot, that my mixture's hot before I put them into the hot jars. That's very important. You want a hot tomato mixture to go into the hot jars. That part is very important, okay? All right, so I'll be back. Okay, friends, I want to let you in on a little secret. This is the kind of food meal that I'm used to using. Emma used to have a really old one of these that we would use to do tomatoes. And then my daughter and I, we just bought us a new set here at the beginning of canning season. And so this is a granite-ware food mill that you can use to mill down your tomatoes, okay? And it gives you a really nice tomato puree down there. However, I have been asked to babysit tonight, so I am going to cheat just a little bit and use my blender, okay? Now, the recipe, if you remember, called for 10 pounds of tomatoes. So I went online and looked, and 2 cups of chopped tomatoes equals 1 pound. So I'm going to need 20 cups, okay, for one recipe. Now I'll probably be doing this several times today, but I want to keep my ratios right. So for 20 cups of tomatoes, what I'm doing is I am measuring into my 4-cup measurement first, and then I am going to dump them into my mixer and do 5 sets of 4 cups until I have 20 cups of tomatoes, okay? Alright, so I'm going to save this here for later and show you using the mixer. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dish out enough tomatoes to, I might just dump this out. Alright, so there is a 4-cup, okay? So I need 5 of these. But I'm going to go ahead and add this one to the blender. Okay, I'm going to put on my blender lid. And I'm going to hit puree because I just want to puree these. Okay, and I'll just do this until I get to 5 of these, okay, 20 cups. And then I'll finish up my recipe, okay? Alright, so I'll be back. Okay, friends, so I just finished up pureeing my last 4 cups of tomatoes to do my 10 pounds, okay? And I was able to do enough tomatoes to actually get 2 saucepans, each saucepan holding 10 pounds. So actually I'm going to be doing 2 recipes, okay? Okay, so in this saucepan I have 10 pounds of tomatoes that are going to come to a boil and cook down until they have a consistency that I want. And then in this saucepan, once again, I have 10 pounds of tomatoes that are cooking down to the sauce that I want. And to this, I will add the rest of my ingredients. Okay, so now to my 2 saucepans over here, I'm going to be adding ingredients. And to each saucepan, this is what I need. 2½ cups of finely chopped onions, 3 garlic cloves finely chopped, 1/2 teaspoon of dry oregano, 2 bay leaves, and 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of freshly ground pepper, and 1 teaspoon of granulated sugar. Yes, for each jar add the lemon juice, then ladle in the hot sauce and place the jars in the camera. So, alright, here we go. I'm going to use my blender again to chop my onion because I'm in a hurry. And my blender happens to have a chop button. Alright, so here goes 1 onion. Okay guys, so I have 10 pounds of tomatoes ready to go in each pan. okay? And so to each 10 pounds, I need to add 2.5 cups of finely chopped onions. Okay, so I used my blender, and this is a 2-cupper, and it goes to 2 cups here, so I figured if I do it all the way up, it would be 2.5. So here's a 2.5 cup, and here is a 2.5 cup. And now I'm going to go over and add these to my 2 pans, okay? All right, stir those in, and I'll bring you in to take a look. Okay, I have them sitting front and back because over here I'm going to have to put my canner. He also calls for 3 cloves of garlic finely chopped. All right, for each pan. All right, so I am using these whole garlic cloves that you can buy in brine, and I've already chopped up 3 here. Alright, I'm going to hand chop them the rest of the way. It didn't do too bad. There's just a few pieces in there. It's a little bit bigger than I want. So I'll just get those few pieces there. They actually did a pretty good job. I've only got about 1 or 2 pieces that I really want smaller. Alright, so now I'm going to add these 3 cloves to this one. Alright. And then I'm going to take out 3 more of these cloves. There's 1, 2, and 3, and these can be nicely refrigerated later. Alright, so I'm going to chop those up. Okay friends, so my camera battery died as I was doing this, and you did not get to see me add all of the ingredients. I started with tomatoes. I have them boiling down. I added onion, which you got to see, 2.5 cups of onions each, and the cloves. Then I went on to add 1.5 teaspoons of oregano. Okay, to each pan, and then 2 bay leaves to each pan, and then 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper and 1 teaspoon of sugar to each pan. Okay, and now I have all of the ingredients in there. Alright, and this is what it's looking like. It is boiling down. The steam is taking off the water. It's reducing down to just a sauce. And it'll take a couple, 3 hours for that to happen. So I'll bring you back whenever we get ready to can the sauce. Okay guys, as you can see, my sauce has reduced itself to almost half. We are getting down to the sauce part. There's not very much liquid on the top. In the meantime, I went ahead and washed up some jars that had been sitting and got just a little bit dusty. They were clean, but they were dusty, so I went ahead and washed them up. And now I've got them in here heating. Okay? And I have my lids and stuff back there. And actually, they can be turned off. So, alright, we will be processing soon. Before filling each jar with tomato sauce, add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice to pint jars or 2 tablespoons to quart jars. Okay? Ladle the hot sauce into the prepared jars, leaving 1/2 inch headspace. Remove air bubbles and adjust headspace if necessary. Wipe rim, center lid on jar, and then screw down band until resistance is met. Alright, so we are ready for that part. Okay friends, so we are ready to process. I'm going to go ahead and grab a jar and get started. Alright, first thing I want to do is make sure I add my lemon juice. I need 2 tablespoons per quart jar. There's 1. There's 2. Alright. Fill this up to 1/2 inch of headspace. This recipe said that it would give me 6 pints. If you find a bay leaf, you can go ahead and take it out at this point. I'm hoping that I can get 3 quarts because we seem to use quarts more than pints, okay? And I think I will. Okay, I'm going to debubble that. Check my headspace. Just a little bit more. That headspace is very important, but sometimes it is hard to judge because if you don't leave enough headspace, the produce will come up over the rim and push off your lid. If you leave too much headspace, then your chances of getting an air pocket is very high. Okay, you don't want any air pockets. Alright, so wipe off those rims, grab a lid, grab a ring, fingertip tight. Okay, and into the canner it goes. You want to make sure that your water goes up over the top of those lids by at least 1 inch. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of the jars and we'll see how many we end up with. Alright, so this jar I'm going to put in the refrigerator and I will use it tonight to do a taste test, see if it came out like it should have. Alright, so step 6 says place jars in canner, ensuring that they are completely covered with water. Bring to a boil and process for 35 minutes. Remove canner lid and then wait another 5 minutes before removing jars to cool and store. Alright, so I was able to get 5 quarts. That's pretty good. I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to set the timer for 35 minutes. And I'll be back. We'll listen for the pops. Pop is the sound the jar makes when the seal completes. Sometimes you hear them, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you can look at the lids, there's a little ball at the top, and if it's raised, that means it has not sealed. If it's indented, that means it has. You look at it just under the right light. I was able to get 5 quarts. of tomato sauce. Seasoned tomato sauce from the Ball's Complete Book of Home Preserving. Alright friends, well, if you liked this video and you found it useful, could you please give me a thumbs up? And if you want to know more about our homestead and what we do on it, can you please subscribe? We are a homesteading family that's just here to share our lives with you and maybe pass along some homesteading skills that you may or may not know. So anyway, I hope that you will join us on our homesteading adventure, and I look forward to seeing you more. So I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.